social protection system for the country, including plans for a national health insurance scheme and strengthening social care and support services. The senior citizens grant, paid at a rate of $25,000 per month, is currently reaching all older persons 80 years and above countrywide. The grants have had significant impact on the lives of older persons who receive them. The Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development is engaging Nile and the different arms of government, Cabinet, Parliament, Ministry of Finance, to see how arms of government, to see how best older persons whose national identity cards have wrong dates of birth, yet there is evidence that they are of qualifying age, can be vetted and enrolled into the SAGE program. National Equal Opportunities Commission recognizes the inherent rights of all the people of Uganda, including older persons, to participate in social, economic, and political affairs of the country and promotes equal opportunities for all. In 2009, the government developed a national policy for older persons as a framework to guide interventions towards older persons. Key of the priority areas of focus of the policy is the elimination of elder abuse. The policy highlights interventions to curb the vice through review and implementation of existing legal and policy frameworks that protect the rights of older persons, sensitization of older persons, and the communities of their rights, among others. The policy has been reviewed, and once it is approved, it will have been aligned to address new developments that have taken place in the 10-year period of its operation, which will enhance protection of older persons' rights. With the enactment of the National Council for Older Persons Act 2013, government through the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development and in collaboration with the Electoral Commission has put in place the national and the lower councils for older persons at different levels. The councils inter alia act as a body through which the needs, problems, concerns, potentials, and abilities of older persons can be communicated to government and its agencies for action. The council is also an avenue through which older persons whose rights have been violated can channel their complaints for further action. All the above interventions are aimed at ensuring that older persons' rights are protected and enhanced. However, there is need to sensitize older persons about their rights, as provided for in the various legal and the policy frameworks in order to reduce elder abuse. As we roll out the parish development model as stipulated in the NRM 2021/2026 manifesto, I urge all older persons, all their caretakers, to take advantage of the program, uplift the lives of older persons. The model is a strategy to reach homesteads that are still in subsistence economy, to support them join the money economy, and many older persons fall in the targeted category. For clarity, the Parish Development Model, PDM, aims at helping people from parish level to increase their household incomes and joining the money economy. It is an extension of the whole of government approach to development as envisaged under the National Development Plan 3, with the parish as the lowest administrative operational hub for delivering services closer to the people and hence fostering economic development of which older persons are inclusive. Working with all stakeholders across government, the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development is committed to promoting health and dignified aging, where all older persons in the country live dignified lives through a comprehensive social protection system. As I conclude, government through the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development calls upon all Ugandans to desist from any acts of abuse to older persons, but treat them with respect, dignity, and care. I thank all partner organizations that have contributed to the success of this event and encourage the strengthening of public-private partnership in development.
Thank you so much, our dear listener. That was Honorable Minister Kidud Mafavi, who is the Minister of State for Elderly, giving his insights about the elderly in Uganda. He has put a number of issues about the interventions, the representation of the elderly, and also giving us different ways on how this group has been abused. I have elders in the studios, but starting with you, John Mary, how do you understand the an elder in Uganda, both in the law and in our African understanding of an old person who is considered to be old, the old ager, an elderly in this context?
Thank you so much, Mr. Amman. In first place, I must commend my minister for his speech, which was enriching. Before, I think I would request you to, for the purpose of clarity and for our listeners to understand, when we talk about World Abuse Awareness Day, do the people really understand what is all about? Because they are used for Youth Day, for Independence, and what
Women's Day.
The Women's Day. That's what they are. They come
The
to
day
understand.
for the people with disabilities.
But these are new days. In Uganda, actually, it has been our third time to be celebrated. Because
The elderly?
the Abused Awareness Day.
Oh, yes.
It started to be celebrated in Uganda in 2019, and I was pioneer among those people who celebrated this day, which was in Mkono. This is the day which was gazetted by the United Nations. After research and after some, there was an organization called NSO. They discovered that these older persons, once they get hurt, so they get neglected, they get abandoned by their own families. In Europe, it is very common, but though they have their system working. But I must commend our government that in East Africa, it is Uganda which has joined the world to have these days celebrated. Because in our year calendar, we have 2 days. We have this 15th June and the 1st October, which we celebrate the International Day for Older Persons. This we celebrate, but we observe to reflect, to take a stock. These senior citizens who have contributed immensely to this country, what are their prides? So unfortunately, this day is not well arranged, and this I do request the government and the civil society to make more effort and campaign so that we bring our younger generation to understand. Because everybody is a potential candidate for age stage. You become youth, but you cannot get there. But this is a permanent stage on which everybody is capable or is a candidate. So this the world. And the essential, the main point is to see the impact of older persons' abuse. That was the main purpose within our community. How and how it occurs. what brings that one, what the results, and then, as you have already, like I said, what the strategy can we put in place to stop this? Because when we talk about the elder abuse, it coupled with two components. There's what we call in psychology ageism and ageists. Ageism, it is a situation where the other part, the other group of youth and other people in our society, they say, these are the older persons. Why should you take care of them? After all, they are in the departure launch. We should not give them anything. Even in our communities, we have our sons and daughters. When you go to their families, they will subject you to dry tea, the bread without butter. You married, everything is done. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to ages, also we older persons, we tend to keep aloof. After all, I'm done. What am I looking for? Why don't God take me? For example, when we were in Cairo, there was an interview with one lady older person. She was aged 120. When she was asked, what do you expect the government to do for you? She said, nothing I do expect. I'm waiting for my death, You see, we have such kind of people. Why? And I do encourage our readers and our older persons who are listening in, and those who are in position of leadership, because we have councils right from the village up to the nation. It is your statutory duty to educate, and we do urge the government also to put in place some organizations which can take up this responsibility of counseling and letting these people to understand that though they are aged, but they still matter. They still hold, they deserve respect. Even our youth, our younger generation, once you find an older person, you should not just take this spend grand person after. Even when you're in the rain, you go when we go in public service. Public institutions. You see, the youth will just come and through their side so that they get served. Instead of letting these older persons to go through, and then in fact they would help to get services. Even the service providers, when it comes to youth, for example, now you can see even within our budget. Our government, the budget gives to the youth is extremely high than the percentage. Now we have this
parish development.
Parish development. You've been given 10%, and when you go to other some counties, you find these so-called cows and what they say. The older person, they don't have any percentage. And the government has come, and we do urge our minister and the people responsible to put this clear, and you put it on the newspaper, you put it announced, because our people are suffering there. When they go to these technocrats, they tell them, for you don't have any percentage, you are among the others. Among the others. When it comes to service, to economic empowerment, you find the government, at least now our minister thought we have got at least 10%. But you find the youth, they are getting 30%. The women, 30%. And yet these are the people who have got other funds in top of that. They have weapons, they have what. Now I had the United Nations, had another money for women, that is 140 something billion for women. But these people, for us, we have other responsibilities, like now looking at our siblings. The younger men, they produce children, they bring it to us in the village, they dump them there, nobody takes care. And even when this fund comes, they cannot consider these older persons who are taking responsibility for these people, say that they get share. Even that small little that we have, like now the minister was talking about the Sage Fund. So you find that these service providers, they make an older persons ride on the motorcycle to go 5 kilometers to go and fetch 25,000 per month. And they are paying 6 months, that is 75,000. Now this 75,000, this young man on the boda, you ask him, mkadi hagenza kufuna cent, now you give me 40. And because she has nothing she doesn't have that bargaining power, you find this young man who takes 20, 50,000, and this man, this poor woman and man, remaining with 45. So we do encourage that at least the government should bring in these services closer to people. Because when we talk about abuse, it's not the physical abuse, but even neglect or commission commission. When you commission or you don't commission, you don't intend, but you will be abusing it, and this person will be counted that his rights have been abused. So we do encourage our government. We do thank the government has done it, has put in some strategies, but the implementers, they have not come up.
John Mary, you think the interventions done by government are not yet enough by giving you a percentage on every government project? You've been represented from the local councils up to the national level. You have 2 days to celebrate in 1 year, and you're not yet satisfied.
Because for us in the law, they say that the justice delayed, justice denied. So
you think you've been denied justice?
No. Even the theme of this year of order abuse, they say the United Nations give us the theme, which says access to justice.
All right.
For older persons. So for us, we are
maybe I will get back to you.
Just let me conclude on this. We don't say that the government has done nothing, but what it has done is still inadequate. Given to the plight and the vulnerability of our people. For example, here in COVID, the older persons were not counted among the vulnerable people. Instead, the prostitutes were considered. Can you imagine? The prostitutes are vulnerable than these senior citizens who have contributed to this country. So that's imbalance. Because even here they are saying, even in this abuse, they say the imbalance and the inadequate of funding, it is not proper. So yes, so I do urge the government, when they are making the whole ministries, all the stakeholders should consider. In fact, the older person should be given a special treatment, given to their vulnerability.
Who is that old that you're talking about? Because people have at 50 have been considered or want to be considered the elderly.
No. Yeah, according to United Nations, the older person is the one who crosses 60. Even the government, once you cross 60, you'll be retired. So 60 and above. But among these 60 older persons, there are those who call active old age, and vulnerable old age.
All right.
Yes. So we are in different categories, but though all of us. But now imagine somebody has retired from public services or the private sector. Now we send him. It is Uganda where we don't have a system of saving, or somebody, even those people who have been saving in NSSF, in what, even getting their money is another and we don't have mechanism in place. For example, when we talk about justice, these people, they don't have a system like women and children. They have a system they have those society who can fight for them whenever something happens. But I never seen any society organization coming to fight for elderly who abused their rights, who have been denied their rights.
Okay, Mzee John Mary, I'll get back to you. I thank you for that detailed introduction. Allow me engage Team Raymond.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Where is the problem coming from?
Yes.
Is it a moral decay? Is it poor nurturing by these very elders who have not nurtured these children, and when they grow up they start abusing them? Is it blamed on civilization? Where do you think the problem is coming from? Why elders or the old agers abused? Before I bring in some on how should they prepare for their old age. Or Tim?
Thank you very much, Amon. It is a pleasure to really give out my views. The problem here is that, as my friend has talked about, there's a policy which is given. This one has just started. This system has just started all along our aged people, our educationists, these people, they have been really suffering. They have been suffering, and the policy has never thought about them. Now, if you look at the way we are brought, when you bring up a child, because a child learns from how he's brought up. If now, like Uganda, our country Uganda, we have been not with the elders. Once you are old, that is it, and you are just stopped from the service without any hope. For instance, if you look at now the pension issue, I'm talking about the pension issue because I assisted very many to follow up their pensions. Somebody will end up dying without getting that money. The money is there, the data of this person is there, and the fact of recent, there's one who just collapsed when he was following his NSSF money. Because remember, our dear president talked about getting it in halves and that kind of thing. But this person, he was now processing. He was processing his money. Yes, he was told your money is ready. But the man just ended up making a kind of, I'm tired of this country. I better die. You know, as John Mary said, somebody is now just waiting, like this lady who answered people in Eastern Uganda when he was asked, for me, I'm waiting for my time. That is, this person was not brought up to make a follow-up. And how will I go by my age? You know, like if you look at the youth, growth and education. This one is growth, and I'm reaching a age where I will not be active. As you remember, we are talking about the active old age. These people can still do something. I've read clock 60. Now, this person, I can do something for myself. But now, what is the government put in place? For example, if really our government is so kind to us, they should, like, there should be assistance scheme. Assistance scheme where some small percentage of interest is put. In case Otim is having a problem, Otim must now go to this bank, to this account, to withdraw something for helping him. But you find, I don't have this access. There's no scheme for the elderly. We don't have it. Now, look at the 25,000 which is given to us. This money, my listeners and the minister, this money should be increased. It is very, very little. These people we have a lot of issues to solve than 25,000. Now, why can't it be like 600,000, 500,000? This money must be salary. It is a salary for the elder in respect of what I've done for the country. Like, I've taught big, in fact, the children I've taught, they are now really very, very big people in the government. Like, I'm really looking at my engineers. There are very many. There are very many doctors who have gone through my hand. But these are the people who, when you try to talk to them, said, but Muse, what do you want? Look at this. These are people, these are my products, but they are not looking at my work. Now, look at the children we have. Somebody will tell you, no, you see, Muse, those were your days. What does it mean, Amon? Neglect now. They have left us. We are now struggling. Look at them, the way they are conducting themselves, this youth. Yes, they are educated. They are running left and right with the women, producing children, bringing these children to us, and they will leave the child to you without any assistance.
Considering the population percentage of the elderly, which is 5% of the entire population of Uganda. 1.6 million people given 600. Don't you think it will be overwhelming to government?
I don't think it is something so big. I just want you to look at the MPs of Uganda today. The money they are getting is really how many do you how much money do you think can pay the elders? Only one MP can pay about 5 or 6. You see, elders. But now this is a situation. I want to give you the kind of life the Indians are getting. The Indians, they have put their elders in a very good mood. There's money strictly meant for active old age elders and these vulnerable. There are those that cannot now do anything. So this money, they have categorized into two. Now, one elder, in fact, if you fall in active old age, then vulnerable, your percentage is 4, because the government is sure that you are going to multiply this money, then you bring back. But this one, who is really very, very vulnerable, he doesn't have a house, doesn't have what. You see, there are some elders at this time, they are not educated.
Someone outside there may think that the old agers, you who are old, or the mzees and judges, you are a bit selfish, because considering other groups, there is no group that has been put on salary apart from the elders, as far as I'm informed.
Yes,
and you are not yet satisfied. Don't you think someone may think you're a bit selfish?
No, there's no selfishness there, because this is a team who had been working, had been serving the government. He has made really a great change in the government. The system is, he was running the system very well, but now how is the government appreciating him?
I really like your statement. Who has been working for the 60 years, but consider a person with a disability who has never worked, but is not on salary, that you, the old people, are getting.
Yes, you know, there's a special token for the disabilities, for the disabled.
A token, not a payment, not a salary.
Yes, but at least is bigger than what the elders are getting. 25,000, and this 25,000. Let me, for your information, I come from the northern part of Uganda. Now, when an elder is going for this money, the LC, you must pay 10% of what you are going to pick.
What is that for?
Yes, because the processing, I've gone to the district, I've picked the money for you, I've taken you. So this one, our money must be followed very well. When I'm going for my money, it should not be the whole district to know that the LCs are now saying, yes, the elders, this time the elders are going for their money. Now, many elders are waylaid and beaten, are abused. The physical, which the minister has talked about, in fact, I thank the minister for mentioning that. Physical assault, which is given to these elders. I've got my money, my small money, then somebody comes to my home and pick this money through beating me, harassing me, and now what should I do? I don't have the energy to defend myself. So this money is taken. So there must be really some... This money must be followed strictly. If it is meant for the elders, let it be for the elders, not the young people coming again to look to process this money for us. And this money, if possible, there should be a way of giving this money to us.
How? Which way is that? Apart from putting it at your district or local council, and you get it from there.
Now,
because when you put it in the bank, you may not be able to get it.
You see, when that's what I'm telling you.
You will find it in the bank.
Yes,
and you will blame the government.
When my caretaker has gone to pick this money, now why should now the LC delay this caretaker? The money is ready. Why should again the LC one, maybe the LC 5 asking for some appreciation?
All right.
What is it for? So. Thank you very much.
I'll get John Mary to clarify on that.
Can I talk something little about this? These elders, if you look at the 25,000 given to them, this money cannot treat them, because these are people who are now vulnerable. They are really sick. Somebody maybe he came out with a chronic disease, and this disease needs to be maintained. These elders, they are supposed to, like diabetes. Somebody must really be on treatment. But why can't the government gazette a hospital strictly regionally? Why can't the hospitals be built strictly for, like what the Indians are doing for their people, like what the US are doing for their people? Why can't at least a regional hospital for the elderly?
Has really Uganda reached the level of India and US to have such facilities?
Now, you see, our oil can do something better. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you very much.
We should have much hopes in oil. Before I get you, John Mary, allow me get in Hewa. Samuel, as a researcher, where have you found the problem? There is a lot of fear in Ugandan societies, in the African societies, and world at large. There is fear of old age. I have seen and more often heard people refuse to be called elders. You call someone Jaja, you call someone Mukade, or Mzee, to be specific in central here, where we use Uganda, and someone says, are you the one who gave birth to me? Do you know how old I am? Why is this fear? Why are we abusing the old? Why is the problem? Sam.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Ahewa Samuel again is my name. I am an author of the book titled The Sick Old Age of Africa. It's the 8th edition among the 9 books on against anti-poverty empowerment program. So this book, the subtitle is Old Age is Gold, It Is Not Cold. Yes, there is a social outlook. There is a social outlook on old age. And this social outlook is where the real problem is. You know, there is another African saying that says, look where you slipped, not where you fell. So we slipped somewhere and we fell the other side. We have fallen here where the elders are definitely being abused, disrespected, and they are not being given that attention which is needed from government institutions to our homes and families. Definitely we have fallen there. That's where we are. And these are the costs. These are the consequences. These are number one, they are causes of poverty, and also they are the consequences of poverty. It is a vicious cycle. Because whenever you discriminate against another person, you are creating inequality. You are creating a gap. I'm telling you, you are not going to go anywhere in life. So it is not about just the African culture, but the issue is the old agers have their strength and they have their weakness. Now in the book, I actually bring it out clearly, the strength and the weaknesses of old age. There is a US study that established that actually young people or people who are younger than the old agers often come to the old age for advice. And we also know it in the African saying, Ediso lyo mukuru awadugala we wadaba. So if now you don't take care of this ediso lyo mukuru awadugala we wadaba, kati ujja kulabirawa. So how? Even in the US, they consult from elders. Why? Because they have some strength in them. So there is some strength in them which can also contribute to the productivity of the country. In my book on the sick old age of Africa, I use the Ethiopian proverb that says, because he lost his reputation, he has lost the kingdom. Where has old age? Where has the population lost their reputation about old age? Number one, we fear old age because we are ignorant. We are ignorant of the strength of an old age. You know, even the biblical proverb says the white hair, the gray hair of the old is a crown. So achieving old age is great. It is gold. So the problem comes in the psychoanalytic, this poverty of the mind. In psychology, we have 5 ages. In psychology, we talk about 5 ages. Number one, the psychological age, the biological age, the physiological age, chronological age, then the social age. Now, if you see all these ages, I am telling you, the old ager, right away from now, the classification of the old age, we are looking at this. Definitely, the government deals with the most vulnerable old age. And when it comes to these ones, the old age of 30 and between 30 and 50, that is where you find the youth and the women. And these are the productive years. Now, the social outlook comes in that we look at old age as if it is vulnerability, ignorance, beggary. We look at old age as a beggary. You know, they don't have any ideas because they don't express themselves. Definitely, if you have not invested in them, how can you get the right advice? So, and I thank God for the adult education centers and all those. I actually write in my books the coming of the adult education center. But it is very funny. Even in the adult education centers, you don't find those old people learning. So there is a big problem. So the problem comes from lack of information about old age. You don't know the strength of old age. Now, when we come to the power of their mind, number one, because we seek advice from them, they are advisors. If the advisors, what are we investing in them so that we get more?
Are we
from
not
them?
seeing their strengths, or they have not
We are not
shown their strengths?
We have not seen their strength.
Because they have
And-
not shown.
Yes, and because we have discriminated the social outlook, we see them as beggary, we see them as hopeless, we see them as helpless, we see them as sick, you know,
Maybe
because of
that's
that.
how they have presented themselves.
Yes, but
It
that
is
is
what you show that
it
we
is- it-
perceive and...
it is a vicious cycle. That is where we came from. That is where we come from, because we see them as useless. We see them as beggary. So we fear even being old even ourselves. It is a shame. It is a shame if a human being really fears being called old. So you find people hiding their ages. That is sickness. That is poverty. And that is how I address that problem of unproductivity in our society. So when you see the problem, the 5 ages, their biological age. Biological age is the health of the old agers. Now, the issue with government is that the only person who has been left to take care of the vulnerable old is government.
If I found you begging, will I be indisciplined to call you a beggar?
No, I am begging. Yes, and we all beg.
I want to leave.
A society is perceiving or is taking and treating the old people
As
based
beggars.
on how they have presented themselves to
Yes.
the very society.
As we don't call government beggars. Government is the greatest beggar here on earth. Government begs like nothing.
Yeah.
Do you know how many countries Uganda writes to ask for money? They are beggars.
Beggars,
But
yeah.
we see they are rich. They are just pretending. It's just a facial expression that they are rich. Government is the poorest institution in any country. That is why it survives on every little bread of tax that whenever it sees development, it comes there. Now, it also sees you see, it also sees all the people as already beggars. So government does not deal with beggars.
That's why they don't want to assist them.
That's why they don't have you on budget.
Yeah.
That's why they don't have you.
Exactly.
You see, they are investing in the youth because if they work more, they will tax them.
Yes.
Now they see, if we give these old people money,
They are non-productive.
they are useless, they are non-productive.
Yeah.
Now, when you go to the US, UK, you find they have built for them their houses.
Yes.
Now our youth here are employed to go and clean them, and
Yes.
they are giving them money.
Working abroad.
Working abroad, cleaning elders, taking care of elders.
You see?
That is the concept of government. It also views them as useless and productive class of people. And so also you don't blame government, but you see government comes from the people in the society.
Yes.
Every institution becomes the people it hires. So the reason why we see that the educationist here, Mr. Tiba, was saying that he has educated many people. They are engineers, they are where they are in government, but they don't even help.
Yeah.
You see MPs, they are younger people in parliament. But I want to tell you, I have not seen. Actually, there are very few MPs who have succeeded in being empowered in their old age. Why? Because they don't see it. They don't see it coming.
Or they don't prepare for it.
Yes, and this is the problem, the social outlook. Yes,
Okay.
for you think you will never grow old. That that is very,
Raw.
very, very, very,
Yeah.
very, 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 very inhuman, immoral. Then it is ignorance. So we need to understand that. There is an African saying that an old man sits where he was standing in his youth.
Yes.
This is where we are.
Yes.
And so, for most of us, now I am 35 years, I was aspiring for mayorship, I have all this, I have the books. I wrote the books on poverty. I didn't leave out the old age. I knew there is a problem here. As long as this inequality and gap is there, we are seeing them as useless. But we always go there to solve their conflicts.
Oh,
Then
okay.
another problem, Mr. Moderator, the problem of poverty is this. And the government must learn. And I am coming to teach government, and I'm teaching the whole community. Because we are going to be the mayors, we are voting the mayors. As long as we vote those people who cannot see this, we are part of the problem.
Okay.
We are 57% are youth. Do you see a problem on the old agers? They have a burden. He has been saying they are raping, but they are dividing even themselves. They are producing children and dropping them to their fathers and mothers. Why? Because they cannot afford handling the children and their whatever.
Exactly.
Okay.
Even the knowledge they don't have. Now, it means the depression on these old agers is going to increase. Depression.
It has increased here. Good.
So, as the depression increases on the old agers, there is pressure on them even to reduce their psychological age, their biological health, their physiological health, even then their chronological age. Because now you know our death rate. I think it is 55. 65.
Yes.
But most of a very big number of youth that are even dying even very early, and that's why we don't reach old age. So then when you see the social age also of the youth, it is reducing because of discrimination. So
Right.
and so this is what Robert Butler in 1965 proposed, and he talked about it, ageism.
And ages.
Socio-economic discrimination against people according to their age.
Yeah.
As long as discrimination starts, we are meant to be poor, and we shall not be productive if these old agers are not empowered. We must empower them.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you, Samuel. I have been joined by Hajat Kakoma, the chairperson, Nakawa Division, Old Persons Council. You may greet our listener, Hajat.
Thank you very much. Good morning, listeners, and thank you, Mr. Moderator.
Most welcome, and welcome you to this very edition of Ground Zero. But if I may ask you, have the old women been abused? Do you see that in society, especially here in Uganda?
It's there.
How have they been?
With the rape, can you tell how have they been? Rape is rape, and we are depressed and we don't like it. Sincerely, I thank the government for the World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, because many women are there quiet, and for us, as we become old, at times it's hard for you to open up, and when you open up, some people do think that that old woman is lying. There are many ways how we are abused. We are abused physically, that's when we are tortured. You started with the sexual abuse, that's where we old women are raped. And there is also domestic violence, whereby even our members of family, the community, domestically violence our rights. We have psychological abuse, financial abuse, economic abuse. That's where our land is grabbed. For us women, there are some women who have land, but we cannot own that land. Someone comes because you are aged, they just grab your land. We are neglected, we are isolated, so we are not happy, sincerely, for us, the old persons.
Hajati, talking about sexual abuse,
Yes.
Are you not also bothered or concerned about how the old women in this country do put on, how they dress up? You find a 60-year-old mommy in a mini.
In our community.
If such person is raped, would you not blame her for her dressing code?
Rape does not depend on someone's dressing code. Even that this old woman is dressed in a mini or what, it depends on the way how she was brought up and how she feels. Though we are old, but we also, there is a way how we feel that you need to do this thing, to wear like, to put on a clothes like this, so long as you don't ashame others and your family members plus your children. I don't think that they are raped because they are putting on minis. Even those who are dressed well, me I call it dressing well, even those who are dressed up well, they can be raped. And rape is not only for someone who doesn't know you. Even the members of our family do rape us and we keep quiet. So I encourage and I empower women wherever you are, the old women. If someone rapes you, please don't keep quiet. Come out, raise your voice so that you can be helped. The person who rapes you can be HIV positive and you acquire HIV. Not only that disease, but psychologically raping someone, moreover when you are old, it's not good.
All right. This is UBC Ground Zero. We are broadcasting live on 98 FM, UBC Radio. We're also live and clear on our sister radio stations, UBC Butebo, UBC Western Nile FM, and Magic 100 FM. We are talking about strategies to end abuse against elderly in Uganda. In the studios, I have Byarhanga John Mary, is the General Secretary for Council's Elder Persons from KCCA, or Kampala Capital City Authority. Or Tim Raymond Fred is the Senior Educationist. Hajat Kakoma is the chairperson, Nakawa Division, Older Persons Council. Ahewa Samuel is the author and researcher. Ampere Amon Butega is my name, and this is UBC, the source of inspiration. We're going for a very short break, and when we return, I'm going to get your call. Then you tell us what you think needs to be done in Uganda in respect for the development and transformation of the elderly. But how do you think we can end the abuse against the elderly in Uganda? Are you old? Are you fearing to get old? How are you preparing for their old age? Call us on 776-511-426. The number to call us on is 776-511-426, and you will be part of this conversation after this very short break.
This is Ground Zero Season 2. Stay tuned. We shall be right back. It's hot.
We passed it. We didn't know exactly what the problem was on the ground. There is no pretending about the effect of this thing. There's no pretending about it. Nobody should. It's a problem.
It's balanced.
This is not the stage at which you start planning to tax a commodity like coffee, especially from down there.
It's intellectually engaging.
The Constitution provides that the land must be registered under the customer tenure system, which is one of those that's recognized by the Constitution.
Ground Zero Season 2, live and syndicated on your public and national broadcaster, UBC, inspiring Uganda.
At UBC Radio, we broadcast in English, Kiswahili, and Luo, loud and clear, border to border. Keep it at UBC Radio, inspiring Uganda.
UBC Radio Network, your national preferred choice. We broadcast all over Uganda and beyond. Join us on 98 FM in Kampala, 99.4 FM Lira, and 97.4 FM Arua. UBC Radio, inspiring Uganda. This is Independent Sound.
UBC has 11 sister radio stations spread throughout the country to educate, inform, and entertain. Tune in to UBC Radio FM 98, your national radio station, Magic 100, where sports and music is our life. 87.5 Star FM in Uganda, 97.4 UBC West covering Western Uganda, 102 Mega FM in Gulu, 97 FM Butebo Radio in Eastern Uganda, 107.0 Buduli FM, 100.5 Nge FM in Kasese, 98.0 West Nile FM in Arua, Total Ray Radio FM 90 in Karamoja, and 93.0 Voice of Mundbujo. Now you covered in your local language.
UBC Radios, inspiring Uganda. It's hot.
We passed it. We didn't know exactly what the problem was on the ground. There is no pretending about the effect of this thing. There's no pretending about it. Nobody should. It's a problem.
It's balanced.
This is not the stage at which you start planning to tax a commodity like coffee, especially from down there.
It's intellectually engaging.
The Constitution provides that the land must be registered under the customer tenure system, which is one of those that's recognized by the Constitution.
Ground Zero Season 2, live and syndicated on your public and national broadcaster. UBC, inspiring Uganda. Welcome back. Ground Zero Season 2 continues.
Hello, dear listener. Welcome back from that very short break. This is UBC Radio. We're also live and clear on our sister radio stations, UBC Butebo, UBC West Nile FM, and Magic 100 FM. Ground Zero. We're talking about the strategies to end abuse against the elderly in Uganda. In the studios, I have Biarhanga John Mary, General Secretary for Council, Older Persons from Kampala Capital City Authority. I have Tim Raymond is the senior educationist. Hajat Kakoma is the chairperson, Nakawa Division, Older Persons Council. Ahewa Samuel is the author and researcher. My name is Ampere Amon Ortega. It's the rare time you call us on 776-511-426 and you tell us how you think the elderly need to be treated in Uganda. UBC. UBC? Yes, Joma.
Yes. To me, I would like to congratulate everyone in the studio with you there.
All right.
It's a privilege to have them there. To me, the facts put on the table based on the following. Health, number one to me. Education become number two. Information, communication, transparency, parental guidance, and sensitization. Because when someone give example about India, how government has managed to give help to older age, then you compare again the same India with the economy of your country here, Uganda. Will it match? We as Ugandans are still far away. We cannot. We should stop comparing Uganda with the other countries which are developed. Because at the moment, I could say our older persons have first to say thank you to the government of Uganda. Because when we go critically in transparency terms, these newly MPs, other young MPs, the person, the other man has been talking about, they were already older age in the parliament there. But though the terms they were using to describe them was not as openly like today, older person. They are there. They are ministers who are aged. They are there. So, no one should fear to become old. You have to start grooming yourself, or your family, or your siblings, whoever near you today. Like that, when you're at that older age, you don't try again to government. Because who were the government by then? You are already at your 60, 70. It means you, when you are youth, at youthful time, you were relaxing. Don't push blame to government. You yourself, you are the government by yourself. And you were a civil servant, yes? Again, today you're crying again government to to give a hand help to you. And now, how about your community? How will they rush to you? Because they will see you like the entities you are as a part of government by then.
All right.
But again, you're very fast running the other side.
Okay.
Yes, sensitization is the key. Then information has to be informed. Yes.
All right.
And communication has to be in a proper manner. Thank you.
Most welcome, Juma, and greetings to the people of Busega.
Amen.
That's Juma giving his ideas on how we need to treat the old people in Ugandan societies. 776-511-426 is the number to call us on, and share your ideas and opinions on the strategies to end abuse against the elderly in Uganda. Juma says information communication is important, but the elderly should thank the government for all the interventions done. UBC?
Yes, morning, sir.
A very good morning to you.
Yes, this is Helen from Matuga.
Glad that you're part of UBC Ground Zero.
Yes. I remember one time I called when you were talking of a budget. And the one officer who was in the office, in the studio, just to say a kind of, I was calling it a monkey. But I was still putting it forward on that very issue of the elderly, anyway, dealing with the public servants. Now, may I get to know how much are the old people to be paid monthly, and how often are they paid? Then, why is it that their payment varies from month to month? Sometimes they are paid 60, some months they are paid 20, 25.
Right.
And whereby you find somebody has to board a motorcycle up to the sub-county, whereby somebody even spends almost all the 20,000 on a transport, and they ends up getting only 5,000.
Okay. Thank you, Helen.
Yes.
All right. Your issues are
Thank
going
you
to be addressed.
for addressing that issue of the old people. And there are even others who are already past the 60 years, but they have not been put on the list. Why?
All right. Thank you, Helen.
Okay.
776-511-426 is the number that you can reach us on in this very minute, and you share your ideas. UBC Ground Zero.
Yeah, good afternoon, people.
A very good morning to you.
Yeah, this is Ochan calling from Lira district.
All right.
Yeah, there's something which touched me about how the whole people are being tempted to rape. But I want to say something about it, that men are tempted by these women because of the dressing code of these old people. Because I have never here, when you look at the way she dressed, it is always can raise someone's feeling. And you see, people have different feeling. Men have different feeling. Now, when you are dressed in such a way, someone with a weak feeling can start admiring and automatically find he trying to rape that.
Okay.
So I want to say women should respect, they should see the way they're dressing to abolish the issue of rape.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chen, and greetings to the people of Rila.
Oh, okay.
776-511-426. We have one more caller, and then we end this sector of callers, and we shall have more time for you. Perhaps we shall give you more time. Last one. UBC?
Hello, good morning.
A very good morning to you.
How are you?
Your name?
Yeah, this is Martin from Uyenga.
Yes, Martin.
Yeah, thank you for the show.
Most welcome, sir.
Yeah, we have talked about raping and age. So you can see even in our government, beginning the final man is old. Now, how can you say that others also they leave a chair when the other one has left the what? It has not left the chair.
Okay.
So that one, I'll finish that one. About rapping, I think you even walk around the villages there or anywhere. You saw a mango, a ripe mango is up there on the tree. Are you not admiring that mango?
But that mango is old.
Yes. So that is dressing. I don't know. I don't know the way you can remove that dressing. First of all, if you are fighting about rapping and whatever, first fight the dressing to remove that dressing so that rapping also can get out from the what?
Okay.
From that. If we are leaving that dressing like that, we cannot stop that rapping because already the mango is showing on your face and you cannot leave it.
Okay.
That is the first point.
All right.
And then the last one.
Please.
Thank you for fighting us about NSSF money. In fact, if you don't have a national ID, you will not get. But the time when they are registering people, that time they were not having an ID, national ID. Why not to give me my money?
Okay.
It is me who has chosen that, okay, you give that to my money. I will be getting profit from you. But again, you want me to be fighting for it. Why?
Are you not concerned that someone may appear to be mountain and gets your share? So by asking a national ID, they want the true identity or who is the real beneficiary.
Now, that time my sugar treaty was not going in there. Now I went there, they are saying that your sugar treaty is not working.
Okay, we shall
So
follow, on that, Mr. Martin.
Yes, that's what I'm telling.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Most welcome. Oh, our time is fast spent. We need to get to the studios. And if time allows, I will give some minutes also for the callers. You have heard from the people of Uganda and the listeners of UBC Ground Zero raising their issues and concerns, starting with you, John Mary, addressing such issues.
Thank you so much, Mr. Amman. Like our topic goes, how can we, what mechanism we should put in place to curb or to mitigate this order abuse, person's abuse. So when we talk, dear listeners, we shouldn't capitalize in one area, because when you talk about abuse, it is a wider range of activities. But to me, as a psychologist, what I must emphasize on, it is mindset change. Beginning with me, with you, what do you take yourself to be? There's one scholar, is called Bernardo, once said in Latin, Bernardo, vivitat est. Bernardo, why am I here? If you're a reader, you must ask yourself, why are you in that position? Because we have readers. We have elected our readers right from the village. Those councils are there, though they have issues also which we need to also the government to address, because it is one of another abuse. These councils have been elected, but they are not facilitated to take up their statutory mandate. So we need henceforth to the government to facilitate those councils so that they can be operational. Because when you have that one. So another thing is, majority of people have said, have talked about rape and what, but why is it rape? Because this mindset, because how would these young men or the siblings or that, how they been brought about? So I must emphasize on sensitization. The older persons, they must know their rights. But like we've said, we have this self-neglect. Once somebody, puts a lot of himself, for me, what I have nothing to do.
Okay.
That must stop.
All right.
Again, mindset, the service providers should consider, like I have had some members saying, why this person, prepare for the old age and what. But how do you know? Because these are the people who have been living hand to mouth. That they have money to educate their children. They haven't. Not majority of them. They have been in government. Government employment.
All right. So others also raise or answer some of the other concerns. Ajat Kakomo,
Yes, please.
you have heard from the people. Do you have answers to them, especially about the rape which you raised?
I'm wondering how many are, sorry to mention, how can you have feelings for a woman who is over 70 and you rape her?
About 60.
Even 60. I know there are some who don't dress up properly, but not only those are the ones who are raped. I ask you kindly, men, my brothers, my husbands, my son, don't shame us. When you have feelings, you go to the right age, not with the older persons. You leave us. Don't abuse us. There is a lady who was raped. She even wanted to commit suicide. I was forced to go and counsel her. But during the session when we were interacting, she had a lot. It was not only on that day. She had a lot surrounding her. So don't think about the sexual abuse alone. Consider all the abuses right from their families, in the community, by the government, outside, everywhere.
All right. But Hajat, don't you think that the old women in this beautiful country need to respect themselves, need to respect their bodies, need to respect the way they talk to people, in that they may gain the same respect?
I do, and I'm a gerontologist. Whenever I come across, I interact with them. First of all, I talk on how we should conduct, because the young people has to aspire from us. So if we don't respect ourselves, that is a very bad thing. And normally, whenever I'm with them, I discuss with them, and I thank this radio because I know they are listening. They are there listening. Let them change. Maybe the number of older persons who are raped, abused, or sexually abused will decrease or disappear completely.
Tim?
Yes, please. Amon, there is something that listeners should understand. I don't know why they have gone to rape when here we are talking about how should the elders be assisted in the society, in the community. They are no longer working. They are now grounded at home, and somebody is running to rape. Somebody is running to about my dressing code.
I think it is one of the abuses they get, especially the women, as Hajat Kakoma put
it. You know, there's something which I need to be. In fact, I want to be on the record that in my place in northern Uganda, Yam district, this old woman was not. She was dressing very well. This youth followed her into her house and raped her. So the rape is not on dressing, please. It is the mindset of this youth. They are on drugs. They are on what? So they can think of any other thing. So Amon, let me conclude. Yeah, let me conclude like this. I'm only. In fact, I'm proud of this government. I'm very happy of what they're doing. You know, when you have started something little, I think something will come out of this very well. There should be a clear way of paying the money, any assistance given to the age. It should be very clear. Very, very clear. Because if it's not clear, this problem will still continue.
All right.
Yeah.
Sam, in seconds, addressing people's concerns.
Juma was talking about why do you compare other countries. You see, this is about learning. And there is a fact of learning from the best. What the best have done, it is what we must emulate. All developed countries have done that. Yeah. So, Juma, my friend, learn from the best. This is the only way we are going to get out of poverty and to come out of this kind of problems. Then another thing you talked about, all the people are not grateful. Actually, research has established that all the people are more grateful than
the youth.
younger people, my friend. So it is inappropriate for you to just say old people should be grateful. You see, that is the biggest problem. They always force the old people to Tosima, you're not thanking. Who told you that old man does not thank? For them, they have blessings.
Yes.
That is what we believe in our culture. So even that silence, for him, he is dying with happiness. So Juma, my friend, stop talking about gratefulness. These people are more grateful than you in life.
All right.
Then, so another thing is definitely preparation for old age, as we talked about. Definitely, it is coming from that social outlook. We fear being called old and all that. Okay. Then another thing is I talked about adult education centers. Even in the adult education centers, schools that we have right now, you don't find the old people. But all that is the social outlook which has isolated them. And then there is another factor. I'm talking about adult centers. We need adult centers. And this problem of transport and whatever will be solved.
Okay.
CSOs right now are the only ones which are actually helping old people. As I told you, government is beggary. So it sees these old people as already useless and whatever, so they don't need to invest.
Okay.
CSOs are the ones who are helping. So maybe I can recommend there is need for use of the implementation of the PPP policy, the public-private partnership policy, so that they strengthen the civil society organizations so that they can create those adult centers. Adult centers should have everything for all elderly people, so that even payment, it can be easy. Those adult centers can deliver this money. They don't need to carry borders and whatever. That is part of the really we need that kind of thing, so that.
All right, thank you, Sam. Before I go for another engagement, I would love John Mary to answer Helen, who said how much are the old agers getting, and the payment has been varying, and you are the General Secretary from the Council of Old Persons, especially in Kampala, where Capital City Authority is based.
Thank you so much, Amon. Not ending there, because
in seconds,
yes, I'm trying to fight for the old persons' rights. This money is not varying, and I want to make it clear that this money is standard throughout the country. That is 25,000 as per now, paid per each person. And then
above 60.
Above 80.
Above 80.
Yeah, but in some districts where those private districts, they are paying from 65.
Okay.
But in Kampala and the other districts which have just come on board, they are at 60. But what
why others 65 and others at 80?
Okay, now
is getting old in Kampala.
Giving me let me give you this clarity. The government started when this project started. It started with pilot districts. Those are countries which were considered to be more vulnerable than these people in urban settings. But we raised our voices through the ministry and other civil societies. They said this payment it is segregative, and then the parliament tasked the government to pay the whole Ugandan. They said if you can pay people from, and they thought in Kampala, the other persons in Kampala they are aware of, and yet they are most vulnerable people. But then let me finish up this.
Our time is fast spent.
Yeah. Now the government said, since you have asked us, and our envelope is so small, let's increase the years, because now the 80 years were the beneficiaries, according to the Ministry of Gender, they are 380 the beneficiaries. So each year they are increasing. So now that's why now we are advocating to reduce the year to come down at 60, which is still a subject to debate in Parliament.
All right.
So now, what I was trying to also talk about this, Mr. Anani said that they need to pay something for LOCs. That is a crime. So if you know anybody, please call me, and we shall handle those people.
Okay.
Nobody is supposed to register you. Nobody is supposed to ask you any money. This registration comes right from NERA to the Ministry of Gender, and the Ministry of Gender sends it to their respective districts.
Maybe before we end the show, you will read your numbers
Yes.
for help
Yeah.
in case there is an old person who has been asked money
Yeah,
to
exactly.
reach you on.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we now engage a senior official and a member with the National Council for the Old Persons in Uganda. Is Mr. John Charles Orachi. He spoke to Henry Baguma, who is our UBC correspondent, about the abuse of the old agers in Uganda and globally. Let's listen to Orachi.
Thank you. My name is John Orach. I am the chairperson of the National Network for Older Persons, but I'm also a member of the National Council for Older Persons, representing civil society organizations. Now, may I begin with your question of who is an older person? The United Nations and the government of Uganda both define an older person as a man or woman who is 60 years and above. So when you become 60, you qualify to be an older person.
Okay.
Now, secondly, the World Elder Abuse Awareness Day was designated by the UN, and it is commemorated on 15th of June of every year. This day is supposed to highlight the problems, the abuse elders go through.
Are you an elder yourself, or maybe I don't know how old you are, sir?
This is a very good question. I am actually an older person, so I am affected by this because I'm now 77.
77. Yes. God has blessed you. So you are so many years beyond the cut-off point for elder.
So, Henry, as we say, I am actually one of those on bonus because in Uganda, our life expectancy is 63, 64 years. So for those of us who are lucky to have passed that, we are actually celebrating. We are living on bonus. Yeah, because we have passed the life expectancy age.
Yes, so what was the theme for this year's event?
The theme was Stop Elder Abuse. We want elders to live dignified aging and for national development. Yes.
Stop elder abuse. So let's look specifically on that theme. How do you understand it? Or can you simplify it for our listeners?
Yeah, the theme is actually quite simple. Throughout the world, the cases of elder abuse are increasing. They are becoming very many. They are becoming a concern globally. Now, elders suffer a lot of abuse at the hands of their family members and at the hands of relatives. So throughout the world this week, we are drawing awareness about this abuse which is taking place, and we are asking members of the society, those who perpetrate this abuse, we are saying, please stop it. Stop elder abuse. Don't abuse elders because they are members of society.
That was a calling from John Charles Ochen, calling the public to stop abuse against the elderly. In Uganda, talking to Henry Baguma, the UBC correspondent. I get back to the studios, but before that, allow me get one caller to share as we round up this very edition of Ground Zero. UBC?
Yes, hello.
Yeah, you're live and clear on UBC.
Yeah, this is Ronnie Patrick calling from Bugiri.
All right.
Yes, please.
Your concern, please.
Yes, thanks for the program.
Most welcome.
Yes, about the elderly in Uganda.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been following your program about it. One of the things that we also have to put into consideration is that the elders, all the elderly must put in mind that they are older people, and they should know that they have reached the stage in which they can be respected. But we see some elders in Uganda, they even deny their age. When somebody reaches 77, he says, no, I'm still 60. So you can imagine if such an elder reaches that such an age and denies even his age, it means that he still wants to enjoy the youthful life.
All right.
It's really amazing if at all the people who could guide us could even deliberately deny their age.
Okay.
It is a bit shameful. And then the other thing.
The last one.
The last one about how do you prepare for the old age. there are very many elders who work even in government. You find them always in town, always in Kampala, always in Jinja. The rest of their life they spend there. So by the time the government job is over, that's when they are finally dumped in the village, and they find themselves suffering without even anything in the village.
All right.
So it's very important that as they're in government, time comes when they also go back to either to the rural areas or back home. So they should look at that one. Immediately you enter the government job, also prepare that one time you'll be in the village. So they should be able to prepare something at home.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right.
For being part of this Ground Zero.
All right.
Thank you, the people of Uganda, for raising such serious concerns about a relevant topic and being part of UBC Ground Zero. Allow me to go back to the studios to address and round up this very program of Ground Zero. Our time is fast spent. I pray that we use a few seconds to round up this very edition of Ground Zero. And there is a lot that people are raising. People don't want to be called old. Actually, on the market, there are so many products of anti-aging. People don't want to get old. You call someone mzee, the response is different from the old mzee. You would respect the way they talk to us, the way they dress up. But also there is another concern as to why they always beat and attack them, especially on land issues. The elderly or the old agers do not write their wills in time, and when they are old, everyone is fighting for their share. So in a roundup, and starting with Ahebwa, how should we end abuse against the elderly? And generally, let's round up this edition. Sam Ahebwa.
This is the reason why I wrote a book on the sick old age of Africa, because there is a problem of poverty coming from that side. So that is empowerment, that is sensitization, as the callers also suggested, and my fellow colleagues. And that kind of sensitization, if we write such kind of literature and books, surely it will work. Then I talked about the government to utilize, to implement the PPP policy, public-private partnership policy, and give money to civil society organizations rather than use political means. These kind of people who are looking for kitu kidogo to establish elderly centers, so that it becomes easy for them to deliver the monies and any other goods to the elderly. Because if they establish elderly centers, I'm telling you, even they will get more support, because that is very important. Another thing is, government must understand that these people, if left alone, isolated, the cost of disease, the cost of death is high for elderly, because they are going to suffer from diabetes, pressure, and all that, and all these diseases are serious. So if we isolate them, you know that you are going to suffer disease in the society, and poverty is going to increase, and productivity is going. You know the cost of a funeral in Uganda, we bury for 3 days. So all that is poverty. We are bringing poverty to ourselves. Let us make sure that we give our elderly people good feeding, good diets. Let them eat chicken every week. Let them eat fish every week. Let them eat fruits. This thing of telling them they can eat portion, no. We need to empower them with food, and right food, not this time. So it is very important, so that we avoid the other diseases which are taking our money, cancer, diabetes, and all this. So it's very important that you see that there is a consequence to everything that you do, and do unto others the way you want to be done. If the are treated as useless, beggary, and whatever, that means we should all commit suicide by 50 years. We should stop living, so that we should not bother other people the way we don't want our baze to bother us. So if government does not want, they let them also legalize suicide, so that we can commit suicide at 50 years. And we should not have old people. So that is what I tell the community. You should avoid discrimination against old people. Let us give them money. Let us give them good feeding. Thank you very much. God bless you.
God bless you too. Our team.
Yeah, thank you very much, Aman. there are about 2-3 things I would like to tell the government about our elders. You know, these people, we know that they have worked for the country, and their time for resting has come. Now, let them. Why can't you construct for them a house? For those who have not constructed a house, build for them. Build for them houses. Then there are those, they have spent a lot of money sending their children to school, and later on, they have not constructed. They have not done anything which is tangible for them. Yes, let's come in. Hospital, there must be regionally, let's construct. You know, it is very simple to build a hospital for these elders. Let the hospital be built for these people, specifically for these people. You see, my friend, when I talk about this, I was comparing India and Uganda. Somebody was saying it is wrong. Our economy. You don't know that Uganda is a very rich country. It is only mismanagement which is making our country poor. So hospital should be built for these elders. Now, take for example, our representative must be at least regional representatives where information can be taken very fast and LCs will come up. Because if these people are facilitated, as my friend has talked about, we are going to have very few deaths in this country for these aged people. Then I'm still on this money here. Money here, I know it is a grant. Now it is going to end. What is the next information for these people? Okay. Is there any other source where the government is going to take from?
To beg more. They will beg.
Thank you very much. May the Lord bless the country.
I must welcome Hajat Kakoma as the leader and a female, a mother. What is your take? What is your conclusion? What are you saying to the public as your calling in respect to end abuse against the elderly?
Thank you very much. I'm calling the government, the leaders, the community, even family members, to visit older persons and their family members, their friends and neighbors, and ask how they are doing. If you know how they are doing, that's how they will be able to stop this abuse. Another one is the intergenerational support. The youth, please do support the older persons.
Yeah.
When we have that intergenerational approach, what all support, maybe we will come and age actively. And also, we need to see that we improve the health and well-being of the older persons, whereby at our health centers, maybe they can put their wing for older persons, and also train geriatrics who can treat the older persons. For the SAGE, that one I will not discuss because I'm already discouraged. It's also like an abuse. You cannot say that you are giving us 25,000 shillings per month. It's not enough. And we are worried, as he has already mentioned, what will be next after the end of this grant. So I hope maybe the government can come out to the community and everyone. As a leader, wherever you are, please see how the older persons are aging with dignity, are enjoying their aging, and see that you don't discourage them.
Okay.
Let them live longer. By your support.
Exactly.
They will be able to live longer.
Exactly.
Thank you, Hajat Kakoma. And lastly, but not the least, the General Secretary for the elders, especially in Kampala, John Mary, you may round up.
Okay,
the program.
Thank you so much, Mr. Amon. Like I've already said, I do emphasize, we should emphasize on the issue of mindset change. When we talk about these older persons' abuse, majority of them, they have been pushing gas that we don't appreciate, and even during that celebrations, there are some people who said we don't appreciate. We do appreciate the government what it has done, but it cannot deter us from spotting out what is lacking, because we are the torch and we're underground. We know how people how do they go so far? So now, this issue, it is a concerted effort. It shouldn't be looked at government alone. Government has put in policies, but also we do urge government. Those policies, let be implemented as they are supposed to be, because our government is a subscriber of United Nations protocols and East African protocols. All those protocols are in place to mitigate these issues of older persons abuse. But what we need to put in place is mindset change from us older persons to know that we have our own rights and we should come out to fight. For me, I've already started. I'm a champion of this and my team, Ajati and others. So you need you to join us. You come on board so that we show these people, these young men, like she has said, intergenerational approach also should be applied. Then don't look at the government, you people who are listening now. You start where you were, those older persons who are around you. What have you done? Because now we are in October of the older persons abuse day. So you start with something. You give that older person, you wash a cloth, you give him a soap, a piece of soap. So when the government or the other people see that we have come up, you news reporters, Harmon, what you are doing here is good, but we need you also to identify, because in our national policy, there is a section 1011. You are told news houses to come out and report these issues. You should work with us. You come down with us. You work with us. We put these things in, these abuses in the realm. And those who are talking about, now we encourage the service providers for search. Now it is Central Bank and our Ministry of Gender. We do request the government. You let these service providers go down to the grassroots, register these people, and let their money go to their account. Don't make these people work and suffer. NIRA, we have been urging NIRA to come down and register our people. Yes. Up to now, they have still refusing. Now, we had yesterday we were with the speaker, and we told her that we need free insurance. Some people are arguing government of Uganda is still poor, and no, you cannot tell me poor. Of recent, we have seen the newspapers, they have given MPs 40 million. Out now, 40 million when you calculate 539 MPs. How much is money is that?
All right.
Yeah, and that money has come out. So now you cannot tell me that Uganda is poor, but it's only our mindset. So I'm telling people, service providers, government, our individuals, let's change our mindset. And these are the people.
Okay.
Just a minute.
In seconds, as time is.
Yes. These other persons, their stock or their Bank of Uganda of blessings and curse. Okay. If these people continue crying, we will never get peace in this country.
All right.
Me as an activist and a champion of the other persons' rights fighting, let's join together.
Thank
my
you so
number,
much. Thank
my
you.
Number
yes, you can read your number for those who need it.
Yeah, 773 28 39 46. 0773 28 39 46. Let's join together. And those who are being oppressed, especially in the Sage and other those cows, you please call me and we shall fight.
Okay.
We are on the same committee. My number is 0752 830084.
You read it again?
0752 830084.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Most welcome. Thank you, our dear listener. Thank you, our dear guests. Thank you, our online audience, for being part of Ground Zero from the time we started up to this very minute. We are glad that you are part of us. We've been talking about strategies to end abuse against the elderly in Uganda. I had our team. Raymond Fred is the senior educationist. Biarhanga John Mary is the General Secretary, Council for Old Persons in Kampala Capital City Authority. Hajat Kakoma is the Chairperson, Nakawa Division, Old Persons Council. Ahebwa Samuel is the author and researcher. We've talked really about things that concern the old people, but also it is a calling that you who is young, you ought to prepare yourself for their old age. The concerns that were raised, we need to improve our health, our feeding, our housing and shelter. Stop neglecting the old persons, the old agers. If they are sick, if you have the capacity, please put their nurses to treat them. If you have the capacity to take them to hospitals, please do the needful. Prepare for them. But also you who are parents today, you need to give good attention and care to your children, well knowing that when you get old, that the same efforts that you put in, that you will benefit from. As the African proverb says, when the rabbit grows old, starts breastfeeding from its children. But remember, if you don't establish and build your children, nurture them well, they may be the same children that you will need the same help and care when you get old. So you can as well get prepared by preparing your children who will care and prepare you when you're old. We've been in this program and we heard from Minister Chidudu and also Jen from the National Council for Elderly. We also need to thank government for the interventions put, especially the representation. The old people have been represented from the local councils to the national level, and the other interventions, the policies, the act, and the small salary of 25,000. And we pray that there is a lot that comes for the old people. On 15th every June, they always a celebration or a commemoration of this day to end abuse, and 1st December, we celebrate the old people. Allow me wish you all the best from all of us at UBC. We wish you all the best until the next time, next program and same stations. We've been on 98 FM, UBC Radio, UBC Butebo, UBC Western Nile FM, and Magic 100 FM. I worked with Bonnie Ochenwin, Bob Bryan, Hilary, and many thanks to executive producer Doreen Ndezi, our producer Msimenta Allen. From all of us at UBC, we wish you all the best. For God and my country, I'm Pede Amon Ortega. Allow me to sign out.
That was Ground Zero Season 2, a production of Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, UBC, inspiring Uganda. It's hot.
We passed it. We didn't know exactly what the problem was on the ground. There is no pretending about the effect of this thing. There's no pretending about it. Nobody showed. It's a problem.
It's balanced.
This is not the stage at which you start planning to tax a commodity like coffee, especially from down there.
It's intellectually engaging.
The Constitution provides that the land must be registered under the customer tenure system, which is one of those that's recognized by the Constitution.
Ground Zero Season 2, live and syndicated on your public and national broadcaster, UBC, inspiring Uganda.
The foundation to good coffee production and productivity is planting the recommended coffee variety